Hello, brothers and sisters of light and dark. Hello, brothers and sisters of light and dark. Welcome to my page. My page is about common sense, but I try to keep it down under the nitty-gritty, under 10 minutes. If it goes over 10 minutes, that means it's something very, very, very important. And not important to liberals, libertards, people who believe in God, people who like to smoke, people who like to drink, people like ayahuasca, people like DMT. Listeners' discretion is advised. If you're not holistic, natural, you're not focused on yourself rather than everything else, you're not a narcissist, of course, but you tend to focus on your mental psychosis as God, okay? Because you are the existing God. Of course, you can listen. But everybody else who don't believe in themselves as God, those people who are just fitting in with everybody else, there's validation, and you need that, you need this, you wear shades at night, you wear tattoos. Yeah, 90% of you should not watch my videos. Alright? My goal is not to make a monetization of my videos. It's just for entertainment purposes or educational purposes. Alright? So this video is going to, if you have any comments, questions, insults, or roast fest, please put it down below. Alright. So now, my associate of mine gave me this to just, I remember responding to it, okay? So before I begin to talk about all these lists, there are others on this list that is obviously not there. Alright? This is what you're supposed to teach your daughters when they're young, okay? But the first thing is that's not on this list that I want to make sure you make it very clear. Virginity, keep your virginity sacred. And also your father figure. Always get permission from your father. Alright, those two things are not really on this list. Focus on polygyny over monogamy, okay, because that is the purpose of a woman, to share and to procreate. This is the basic fundamentals of a woman. And when you have daughters, they are supposed to be with powerful kings. Alright, so since I got that out of the way, let's begin. So, I know there's people who would disagree with me. I don't care. Monogamous relationships fail by 80% statistically, okay? So you know that when women choose their mate, they hesitate. They don't talk to their fathers. They don't know what polygyny is. Polygyny, the technical term meaning for polygyny, is one husband, multiple wives. I repeat, it's not whoring around. It's just not an ordinary polygamy, okay, in generalized terms. It is specifically husband and multiple wives. All right, okay. So let's begin. He sent this to me, so I'm going to respond to it. Don't chase any man, of course. Most women don't chase men anyway, so don't even front that. If she's a virgin, she's most likely might do that, especially if she's living in a Western country, Westernized country, because she's been, televised and she's been, brainwashed because of what she watches on television, because there is no father in the house from the beginning. All right, so when she watches TV, she gets this idea that the man is cute, and she doesn't think of anything else. This video is pertaining to not the masses of asses. I repeat. All right? It's going to be a little long video, but I'm going to try to get to the point if I can, okay? All right, this perspective comes from a Gen Xer born in 1974 who basically have more knowledge than most of you guys out there and most of you women, because I used to do a lot of things in my past, but we're not going to go down the list of what I used to do, okay? And of course, don't chase a man ever. There's like there's more men chasing women, okay? So that usually doesn't happen if there's a father nearby. Number 2, watch how he treats others. Yeah, psychoanalyze that beta male, okay? Because obviously, if he has a lot of male friends, that's a red flag right there. If he likes to go out, party, club, that's a red flag. A lot of women tend to gravitate towards guys who are social or super attractive. So let's go on to the next one. I'm trying to keep it down. All right, that makes sense right there. See, you watch how he treats others, but how would you know if he doesn't have a lot of friends? Because most average-looking males who are beta blue pill mode, innocent mode, they do not have a lot of friends. They just don't. All right. I said the word keyword there, average looking. But let's go on to number 3. Lies once, lies again later. Yeah. Usually the narcissistic 25% of males out there, beta alpha male constructs, they'll lie to you when they're super attractive. When they want to get what they want because they need to socialize, they act just like a woman and vice versa. But a lot of the 80% of women gravitate towards the 20% of males, and so those 20% of males get all of the used vaginas. All right, I said before. And a lot of average-looking Joe Snows are left out in the cold. Not because they're broke either, because there's a lot of women say, "Oh, you broke because you work at McDonald's." No, it's about compatibility and love, right? Women don't believe in compatibility or love these days. They don't believe in that. If you treat them poorly and you got a lot of money, they're gonna divorce you. A lot of guys don't get it. Even if you treat them right, there's an 80% they're going to divorce you because they're not what? Taught. Let's go to the next one. Okay. Control is never the real love. Now, this is a tactic a lot of women say a man is controlling. But if that man tells you straight up front from the door, this is how I am, he is not controlling. He's not exploiting you. So if a man... This information is for women now. If a man's telling you up front, right, this is how it's going to be, there ain't no secrets on your phone, you're not going to be able to do this, you're not going to be... He is basically not controlling you. He gave you a choice. Right? You agree? All right. Okay. Now, if you happen to come into a relationship and then all of a sudden he seems to be controlling, that's because he didn't put his foot down, he didn't have a foundation, and he did not have any standards. So he's going to be seemingly controlling because you did not know. I do not blame most hoes out there, 304s. I do not blame them. But I blame most hoes only when they're told once. And then they even been told twice and they still do it. It's a habit. It's habitable. Listen to number 5, okay? Raised voice today, hand tomorrow. That's a good man, as a matter of fact. Listen. Now, a lot of you women may say, "Oh, no, he ain't putting no, I'm going to get my brother." Think about it like this, okay? If he already told you how strict he was, and he already told you this is what's going to happen, I always tell every female, I might have to pap you upside your head. But it's not abuse. It's just a disciplinary action that you know you did something greatly wrong. I said greatly. You offended his mentality. You're suffering his mentality. A real man will not tolerate your words of mouth of disrespect. He's not going to tolerate it. He'll be gone before you know it. And then your dad will get on your case. There's a couple times I've been talking to some females who had fathers. I always talk to the father. And the father would like, "Hey, she said she did what?" And she said, "He actually was on my side because he told her about me." Okay. So I always get on the dad and say, "Hey, I ain't got no time for this. If it's self-defense, he has a right to knock you out." Okay. All right. So we got that. Raised voice is a good thing because if the man is telling you what he wants, he don't ask for a lot. Most men don't ask for a lot. All right. Now, if he raises his hand, you're about to be for the streets. All right. Even Pimps said they beat their 304s all the time psychologically. They womanize them. But I don't do such a thing. I tell you once. I'm not going to tell you twice. I'm just going to be quiet and I'm going to be abused. Because men don't talk up. They don't speak up. Most men are beta. Let's go to the next one. Real love doesn't play games. That is also false. Okay. Real love will play games on your mind. Men like to play video games. Right? Men play games. They got hobbies. They're not playing games with you. The only type of male that will play games with you psychologically when it comes to your heart are beta alpha male constructs. As I said before, I use the word beta alpha male construct because these guys are usually 6'2". They're highly attractive. I've talked to them. They're narcissists. They act just like a woman. They always on the internet, propping up, we call it, what's the word? They're stressing their beauty. They're stressing their money. They're always flashing their shit because they think they're the shit on the internet. All right. Okay, let's go on to the next one, okay? Never tolerate disrespect. Walk away. Now, you got to watch this. This is a tricky one. If a man is joking around with you, that's not disrespect. You should be able to joke around with him too. But don't go below the belt now. Don't go below the belt. All right? If he just basically said to you, oh, you're ugly and stuff like that, he's only joking, like da-da-da, he knows you're beautiful. You got to know how to use constructive thought and be like, okay, is he actually mean that? Does he say it repeatedly over and over again? If he jokes around and keeps saying you're ugly or some shit, you look like this and you look like a space alien or whatever, he's probably telling the truth. But it's not disrespect. He's just joking with you. But he loves you for who you are other than just what you look like. Let's go on to the next one, okay? Let me see. Flirts while dating. Now, as I said before, only 20% of men do this. Have you ever heard of guys actually, when they get a girlfriend, they actually act up? No, that's not true. The guy is not an average-looking Joe Smo, okay? There is no such thing as... Most of the time, average-looking men do not cheat. They just don't. They can't afford it, okay? They've been alone too long, so they're not going to do it, right? Okay, the average male who's average-looking are not cheaters. Now, the average-looking woman will cheat, however, because pussy is more valuable than dick. All right, let's go on with the next one. Number 9, okay, right below this frame here. Never depend on any man. That is absolutely correct. I agree with this one. There is nothing else to say. I always teach my daughters to have your own. Because if something happens, if he dies, you have to know how to support yourself. You need the education to be not independent, but dependent to a point to where you know that if something happens, you got money to back yourself up. So don't do it 100%, okay? You have to help him in order to help you. That's great. But these days, a lot of women are gold diggers. They will drop you at a drop in the bucket, okay? Drop in a hat, like white on rice, okay? They'll leave you, okay? Number 10, no more tears than laughs, okay? Well, leave. Yeah. If the man is... I've encountered some beta alpha male busters who beat up their girlfriends. And they didn't have just one girlfriend. They just beat them up because it felt good to them. But women love those type of guys. Pookies and Ray Rays. I'm saying it here for educational purposes. I'm not hurt by women. I learned my lesson very clear early. That no money, no honey is all like... That's mainly business for me. It's like, hey, you want a family, you want to create business, everything is trade. You can't just give away your life. You can't do that. If I become useless, I'm not being in someone's life if I can't help them. That's just me. I can't help you no more, dear. You have to go. I want you to... And she's going to be like, no. I said, no, you got to go. You got to be honest with yourself. You don't want to be a burden upon nobody. All right, okay? You have tears. It's time to leave. Yeah, sure. He's going to beat you and shit. I've encountered women and talked to women, counsel women and say, why are you with a guy who just knocked you, gave you a black eye, and then you go back to him? All right? Don't do that, okay? Let me see. Cheating is his flaw, not yours. Now, like I said before, it's usually the woman that cheats 9 times out of 10. I understand this says things about your daughters, but you have to understand it's the woman that's 9 times more likely to cheat statistically, all right? So let's not worry about him cheating. He's not going to cheat with anybody. If you ever hear this thing, what the hell is going on out there? If you ever hear this thing where a man is cheated with someone uglier than you, then your pussy shit. I'm sorry, but I had to say it. Your pussy ain't shit. He wants something. He wants something tighter. Okay, you know. I don't care if fucking he's ugly or attractive. If a man cheats on you with someone uglier, it could be about her personality. But I'm telling you, guarantee your pussy sucks. Your pussy is the shit. It's flunk. Everything about you is garbage. If he talks to some other guy that's way more unattractive than you, oh my god. Okay, let me see. That's a whole new topic altogether. Number 12, don't lose yourself for him. That's what I say to the beta males all the time. A beta female, I'm talking about beta female, is a female who likes to wear makeup to think she's better than beta. She's average. Beta is average. The average, everyday Joe Smo is beta. He's going to use his emotions. He's going to try to fit in. He's going to do what everybody else like to do. You're beta. You're going to do what everybody likes to do. You want to wear makeup. You're going to wear locks in your hair. You're going to try to pretty yourself up because you don't believe in natural looks, beauty. Don't do that stuff. All right, number 13. Stop romanticizing red flag behavior. Now, the thing is that Women told me this. Romance means she's not wet in the pants. All right? You have to have attraction for each other. So a fat fuck should not be with a skinny fuck. It's just common sense. Now, some might make the difference as personality. No, it's not healthy. It's not healthy. Most women don't romanticize unless they're taught to romanticize. I travel overseas to talk about this all the time. Women don't know nothing about no romance. Romance is a taught thing. It is taught because of what they watch on TV. When they see a man in the video spending all this money, they see that. I tell my daughters, no. You see that? That means he does care, but you better return the favor. 9 times out of 10, women don't return the favor when it comes to romance. They just don't. They always think what's in between the pants. That's a red flag for a guy, not for a woman. A man is always giving you romance. He's giving you compliments from the beginning. He might not give you no more compliments later on unless you're a narcissist. If you start thinking, oh, he should always tell me how beautiful I am, then you should start telling him how beautiful and handsome he is. Then he'll start doing that for you. Men are very logical. All right. Women are not very logical. Let's go into the next one, okay? Number 14. Right men won't shrink you, okay? No. This goes back to the same thing where it comes down to disrespect, okay? Disrespect. If he's joking, be constructive. If he's joking, if he jokes repeatedly about the same thing, and obviously it's true though, obviously psychologically, but if he's joking about different things and he's a comedian, then you got to go with the flow. You knew that you was dealing with a comedian, a goddamn fool, okay, right? So you better be happy because he's just joking. He's not joking just about you. He jokes about everything. You got to be careful with that. He will not shrink you. Men don't usually criticize or ridicule women. Most men don't. But there's those 20% of guys out there. All right, you got my point here. Most men will not shrink you. Now, 15. Speaks, silent speaks. Listen to it. Silence. Yes. That's another thing too. When a man told you repeatedly over and over and over what you should be doing, if you ask him, you can defeat a narcissist by asking questions, and you understand his purpose. If he doesn't give an answer, you obviously know the answer, okay? But if he speaks in silence and doesn't give you a response, you obviously should know the answer because he doesn't care anymore. He probably told you repeatedly over and over how simple he is to understand. Men are easy creatures to understand. And let me tell you one other thing before I continue with number 1 on this side, okay? Number 16 or whatever. Let me see. Why does he got this? This 15 and 15? Okay, yeah, I'll just go through all of them. Let me tell you something. Whenever you hear the red pill, the men always are losing. Simply because of OnlyFans and also because of Pornhub. As long as there is porn or corn on the internet, women are always winning. As long as you see, let's like Travis Scott, the football player, guys like him, innocent guys, get sued in court and get half their, women are always winning. There is no such thing as men are losing. Men are opting out of the dating pool. Yeah, and certain things like group dating, they don't go to group dates. And I tried that one time and I was like, hey, somebody told me it's not worth to go there because none of them are attractive or are fit. They're not fit. So most of them are just unattractive. And I said, oh, okay, I want to see because I want to see they got anyone. Even they also are broke too. So 9 times you go to group dating groups and you hear that. Average guys like me don't go there, especially me as an indigo above and alpha in the fucking segment. I do not go to those places anymore because they're number one, they're average looking and they're broke. Okay, average looking, below average. I'm talking about below average. Average looking female is okay to a lot of average looking males, right? And I say I'm average myself. Average to a woman is a 7. Once you hit an 8, you are no longer average anymore. You're highly attractive. Women have a different number when it comes to men. Facts, okay? So if a man is a 5, he is completely blood ugly. But if a woman is a 5, she is average. If she's below a 5, she is overweight. That's all it is. Men are not as shallow when it comes to beauty. All right? Okay, we made that clear. Men are not as shallow when it comes to beauty. Now, let's go on to number 16. Value shows in how he treats you. Yes, from the beginning of the relationship, men are doing too much. I teach men on my YouTube videos, stop doing all that shit for her. What is she doing? How is she reciprocating your energy back? What is she doing? Is standing there? Is she saying thank you? Is she seem like a lot of guys do too much? I do the least amount. I don't really talk to Western women because they're brainwashed. They're corrupted. Okay, they don't know how to respond to real men. They respond to boys and they give them just a little bit. And women use this to their advantage. It doesn't work with me. Okay? That makes me above average. All right, let's go into the next one. Jealous of success, not supportive. As I said in the past in my videos, all the time, to be independent woman like a diva is not a good thing, but you can do your thing if you want. But there's not a lot of guys, alpha men, he got to have his own. He's going to always feel that you got more money than he is. And he's going to get a little jealous. You always going out. He think you cheating. Obviously, there's some kind of miscommunication from the beginning of the relationship. Jealous of success. If you are successful as a woman or a female, and you basically have way more money than he is, it is possible to be with that man. But you better be sharing him. He ain't going to be alone. You got to be like, oh, I got my sister wife taking care of him while I make the money. That's good. That's good. You're making money, but you're not spreading your lips for nobody because he is the only one that you want to have children by. If you're thinking like that, but if you're thinking, oh, I can have any man because I got all this money, you do not deserve to be in a relationship. But now I know a lot of polyandry type women who think that they can have 4 husbands. I know women who do this. They have 4 husbands, but they don't understand the point of procreation. It's better to adopt in that womb, that type of womb, where there's a polyandrous type of female, and she believes that, oh, I can have 4 husbands, like Cleopatra. That's a closed womb, because she'll be pregnant with one man's child, right? And then she can't have no more other children. Polygyny is important to an alpha male. Polygyny is important to an alpha male, or a male who's truly traditional. Let's go on, because jealousy doesn't play a role in the man unless you're going out too much. He doesn't know where you're at. That's not really jealousy. He's being concerned. He's being a little insecure, and that's a good thing, as a matter of fact. Because there's no secrets with me. All right? I don't play that. It's not about jealousy. This is my rules, and you wanna what's the word? You wanna listen to the rules, or you going to the streets? That's it. It's not hard. Not hard. It's just women are way more devious when it comes down to guys. Okay. All right. Kindness beats charm each time. Kindness beats charm? No, that's not true at all. So I'm going to ignore that, because the fact that I'm 7 out of 10 and I can pull a lot of women if I talk a certain way. I'm done. I can get the money. I can get the cash. I did it before. Charm beats kindness. Charm beats kindness. Remember that. You always say, women always say, oh, he looks good. That's looks. Looks beat kindness, and it beats charm. So think about an unattractive male who got the charm, and he got the charms in his hands, okay? Because it's not just talking. But if your charm is that good, you can actually persuade her. That kindness don't mean shit. You could talk to her like shit, and she will be manipulated by the charm. So that is wrong. A beta male wrote this from my experiences, all right, and also the pimps too. Yeah, I get my knowledge. From the woman's mouth. And I've been taught and learned from pimps when I was 16. A lot of you guys haven't, so don't try to compare yourself to me. I even talked to some Italians, and they told me, what is your idea? Talk to an old school Italian. Mafia style. They'll tell you family is business. They'll tell you straight up. Okay, don't fix broken men. It's mostly the women that are broken, but I'm going to say if my daughters met a broken male, I'll be able to spot it really quick, because he needs to use what? Drugs. Drugs is a broken male. Smoking cigarettes, that's a broken male. Doing any kind of, to me, tattoos is a broken male. There's a lot of things that shows red flags to me, because I look at things psychoanalytically. I use psychosis, and I be like, why you need tattoos? Look at his past. And another thing that's not on this list, his past is important, okay? Now, there's some guys who have made some mistakes, and they're innocent. If you hear this story, their side of the story, and it's convincing to you, then you have to give them a chance. But it's repeated. If it's repeated, let's say someone has repeated offenses, then that's a red flag. Repeated offenses. It doesn't matter what the crime is, because if he told you his story, then you'll be convinced that he's innocent, and probably so he is. You got to be careful of men who get caught up. There's people get caught up one time, they only have one charge, and that will ruin them for the rest of their lives. So you have to give them a chance. I don't always I check a woman's background only on one condition: if she's a virgin or not. Okay, that's the main thing that will throw me off. Okay, but other than that, let's go on to the next one. You're not his mother. Remember that. Well, before you begin the conversation with any relationship, okay, you have to know if he's strong enough before you even think. If he's telling you directly, this is my foundation, he's not going to be like taking your word. It's just common sense. He's not going to listen to you. He could take your suggestions as a queen, but you're never supposed to tell a strong male figure, which is rare these days, about how he should live his life. Okay, a lot of women get that misconstrued. I'm like, you shouldn't talk to him, because he's going to tell you straight up, don't talk to me that way. Don't do that. He's going to be serious as fuck. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, guard heart. Don't freeze it. Now the thing is that I'm kind of a mixed bag on this one. Okay, guard your heart. It's good to guard it, but this is why you have a father in the first place, or an elderly, to give you some advice about the guy, okay? And if you do try to introduce the guy to this strange male, or if it's not your father, you have to have someone, a male figure, who's strong enough to recognize the problems with that male. You don't want to you won't want to be open to any male, right? And I teach women straight up, yo, you got to be careful. Does he smoke? Does he cigarettes? Is he about his health? Is he a spiritual person? Okay, these are key good green lights and red lights, so you can know to run before it even happens. Plus, you also have another thing that's on this list that's not on this list, is to always test him behind your back. To save your time. I know you may be attractive, but this one is very important. Test his loyalty out behind your back. If you're a girl, you're a female, this is the best advice I have for most women. I swear to you, this will help you women out and help you raise your daughters properly. Test the man out early, like with another girl on the side, one of your girlfriends, okay? Because I told you, a beta alpha male, the weaker the wet male, he's not going to be up front that he's into polygyny. Here's another one as it came up in my head. Okay? Be careful of propaganda. TV, television. I teach my daughters to be careful what you're watching here. Talk to daddy if you got some confusion what's going on. I let them watch anything they want, okay? As long as it's not, something sexual, okay? I really don't let them watch that stuff. But I don't mind the blood and the arms coming off. Okay? If you know what I mean, okay? But the sexual stuff, the information that on BET, sexualization, okay, of girls, that is what you should not be allowing your daughters to be watching that. Alright? But that's the things that's not on this list, okay? Good men respect your healing. Your healing. No, you should already be healed. Yeah, that means you're damaged. You should never no one should be entering relationships if they're damaged. Okay, when I mean damage, is that you have a mood swing to a point to where you're jumping all over the place. It's not logical. You're not healthy, and something is wrong. You're hypochondriac. It's mostly a woman that's going to have these problems 60% of the time. It's statistics. I'm talking about statistics. 9 times out of 10, a woman have a psychological problem, and men usually enter that relationship blindly because he's in heat. Okay, he's in desperation mode. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, you should not be healing when you're about to enter a relationship. Number 8, poor communication ruins connection fast. That is correct. Poor communication should start early so you can know. I had to reject a lot of women in the past because they did not know English internationally. That is a red flag. You don't know English, you can't me no travel. All right, you can't travel, can't write properly. That's you have no time to be raising anyone to learn their ABCs. That's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Number 9, love shouldn't feel like anxiety. As I said before, when he explains things up front, And he told you straight up, I am a disciplinary individual, holistic, yada, dot, dot, dot. There should be 20 things each person has. There will be some things, maybe 1 or 2 things you may sacrifice, but each one of those standards that you have to make sure you're not going to be going through no mental anguish. Because me, when I feel mental anguish, I try to tell you a warning, or talk to the other sister wives. Do not talk to me if you do not do your research. That's it. It's not hard. Just do your research on your own problems. I teach my daughters about psychologicals all the time. Learn psychology and your health. Go holistic all the way. All right, okay, let me see. Anxiety is a bad thing. That means you're damaged. Do not go into a relationship knowing that you will be damaged. You are not prepared. All right, number 10. Okay, not proud of you. Leave. That's redundant from the other ones. Okay, he's not proud of you. Most men are always proud of their female. The guy wrote this. He probably didn't have a lot of relationships like I have. Pressure isn't passion, it's manipulation. This is a tactic that women use to force a man to marry them. Marriage is a coercion tactic used by women, and I say it's not necessary. You just get with someone. When you get physically sexual with someone, you already married that person. When you are sexually active, you with that person, you married them. Symbolically, you just married them. You don't need a piece of paper through the state. There is no benefit for a man to be married. Facts. You can call someone your wife just as that. You are my wife, and have a small celebration, a ceremony, like I have. I have small celebrations, a ceremony. I keep their immediate family. We don't need all them strangers. It's not about a show-off thing. It's a serious thing. And she want to think, oh, I want to have a big wedding. Then she was brainwashed. She wasn't trained well. You were not trained well. If you were listening to me, you were not taught well. If you need a big wedding, you need it to be fantastic at over $3 million because you don't know the value of money. No. Okay. Let me go to the next one. 12. Never lower your standards ever. This is what I say to men. But women don't really have that many standards. And I teach women sometimes, just keep your virginity. Okay? Because that's the highest standard. Your highest standard is the value. I tried to teach Kevin Samuel this all the time, and he took that from me, and I said that your value goes down dramatically once you lose your virginity to an alpha male. I told him this. We could have been a powerful duo, but I was too much for Kevin, so he was like, one of his videos went viral, and he disappeared. But I said, I don't care. Image consultant shit. Look it up, okay? Everything I'm saying is what Kevin Samuels learned from me, okay? And he was older than me, too, man. He even complimented me on my page. I said, hey, you got some real good knowledge. I said, yeah, I know. We should join up, okay? We have to join up, guys. Now, this message is for you women who have daughters. And as I said before, the old school version, back in the days, where there were women who they could not wear dresses, that's the era where I come from. I don't think it's appropriate for women to wear dresses. Okay? Okay, you going outside, anybody can, that's easy access. You see that my mind is thinking like that? Alright, let's go on to the next one, okay? Never lower your standards. I say that to women and men, but men have to come up because it's the men who is the women are sleeping with, and those are beta weak men, and the weak men become mentally fucked up, okay? If the man is not strong, the men become fucked up. It's that simple, okay? Let me see, number 13, okay, which is actually 28, okay. No need to prove your worth. Yeah, you're going to need to prove your worth. That's a lie. So the guy who wrote this, he probably didn't have worth them himself, okay? So he's just talking about himself. So whoever wrote this, it's going to be a male, okay, who wrote this. You need to prove your worth by communicating what you are from the beginning. From the beginning. All right? This is my worth. This is what I desire. Then you'll see that if you qualify. It's like going to a job. Can you prove your worth to work at this job? There's no such thing that you just go up in the job and you don't have to prove your worth. Sometimes a job will give you a chance to prove your worth, even though they may have made a mistake to hire you and your credentials is shot. There are people like that, and men do it too much. They don't really look at the proof and the value of a woman. They only look at them at the value of their vaginas and how beautiful they are. And that's how simple. And they're desperate. Most guys are beta. And I teach my daughters this. I say most guys are beta. You want a stronger man, you have to talk to your father to seek him out. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. Okay. His actions reflect your value. As again, he's going to value you highly when you first talk to him. He's going to try to take you out. But you got to reciprocate. You got to give that energy back. You got to give that energy. If he buys you a teddy bear, you should buy him 2 teddy bears. That's common sense. But women don't do this. They don't give the information back, the love and affection, back to the male. And this is a sad thing for a lot of women. And I have to teach women more. It's mostly men, because the guys are getting taken advantage of more than the women are, obviously. You guys got to stop giving away all your affections, and you're not getting nothing back, okay? That's a message for guys. Or you want to say red pill or micto or whatever, okay? His actions reflect your value. What are you talking about? The guy wrote this. I'm like, he's a very feminine person when he wrote this. And it wasn't a female. This maybe it was written by a female. It just doesn't make sense. Maybe it was written by a female. But the thing is that she felt that she wasn't respected in her values because she didn't know that man from the beginning. A lot of people get in relationships and they don't know that individual. All right? They just go because they're attracted to them at first. And that's it. And the last one, if unsure, walk away strong. No. The last one is wrong too. If you're unsure, ask your father. And that will be the end of this session, peoples. I've given you a lot of knowledge for all these things that's probably written by a guy. Because a lot of women don't take the time to write all this stuff. So it's most likely a guy, okay, who has a daughter. And you shouldn't listen to this person. You have to make sure he has videos, footages. I do therapy services, and I used to babysit. I used to give counsel to a lot of people, and the third sex too, the intersex. I don't understand one thing. I digress here for a bit. That why people don't understand that there's more than 2 sexes. There is. It's called the intersex. Look it up yourself. Okay, it's rare, but they'll call it an abnormality. But it's still a third sex, man. There are men who can have children, yes. Look it up. Look it up. Look it up. Is it possible for a male to have female reproductive systems? And I was like, that's hard. That's hard. That's a hard thing when you research that. All right. Other than that, guess what I'm going to say? I'm not your average man. I'm not your Peter Pan. And y'all have a nice day. Keep healthy, guys. Keep healthy, women. Keep healthy, daughters. Make sure you keep your daughters in the house. Get your ass home. That's what the pimp said. Get your ass home. Get your ass off these streets. Alright? You're not supposed to be clubbing. You're supposed to be educated. You're supposed to be focused on your father and your mother, not the streets. Not going to summer clubs and party clubs and Jodeci clubs and R. Kelly's, watching James R. Kelly's and what do we call it? James Brown. Okay. Oh my goodness. My brain is a little cloudy today. But I'm not your average man. I'm not your Vita fan. Have a nice day. If you have any comments, questions, insults, or roast fish, you put it down below. Peace.